Hey everyone, it's Jaylene with your monthly update for May of 2026. So this month we are going to talk about a few things that are exciting that are happening and a few things that might evoke some anxiety in us. So the energy is going to come in as it has been in big waves. And when I mean big waves, I'm talking about an incredible force of downward energy that's coming in through our plasma field. We've got a number of planetary alignments and comets and things that are in our field right now in our solar system. And it's coming from our sun, a lot of plasma energy. It's hitting our planet and it's shifting us. It's changing us at the very fundamental level, at our DNA level. So that's happening. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the way that this energy, when it leaves, can cause us to feel really stagnant or stuck, and the way to mitigate that and how to engage with it when it is feeling like that and what it actually means. Then we're also going to talk about what many people have mentioned this year and next is the whole disclosure movement and what that means for us, because there's something very incredible that's happening that I want to bring your attention to that I've been noticing more and more when I work with clients and the people that are coming to me right now, and some of the conversations we're having with the guides that I'm bringing in for them on the disclosure topic. It's very, very interesting and it's becoming very, very personal. So we will cover those topics in today's update. Stay tuned. All right, so let's start with the way that the energy is fluctuating. The fluctuations are so big, the swings are so big, that what happens is that when the energy is full on and it's coming into our planet and the Schumann resonance is sort of like firing on all engines, and we're feeling good. We feel like we have a lot of forward momentum. We feel like our physical body feels strong. We feel like we can go out and go to that exercise class or take that walk, do what we need to do. We have the energy for it. We've got the stamina. That's great. But then a couple days later, you might feel like, oh my gosh, where did all that energy go? Today, I don't feel like doing anything. My thoughts are kind of confused. I feel like a fog. I didn't sleep well last night. My sleep was really disrupted. I woke up feeling achy. I don't want to go to my class today. I don't want to go hiking. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay around in my pajamas and check out. And so those two things are happening right now because the field right now is shifting so dramatically. And that's because we have a lot of energy that's coming in big bursts from our sun. And it's coming in conjunction with other planetary bodies that are moving in front of our sun, such as comets and or planetary alignments in our solar system. But it's really also coming from our outer part of our galaxy, is what my guides have shared, that there's a lot of energies coming from the outer part of our galaxy that are hitting Earth. And they are mixing and mingling with the energies that we already have here. And the reason that they are here is because humanity, of course, is moving through this massive phase. Well, let's say Earth and her entire system and all the beings that are on Earth that humanity are obviously a part of. We are all shifting and changing en masse together. And what is going to happen is that we're going to be sending out a very different signal out into the cosmos. And it's been known that this time has been coming for a long time. And so there's a lot of outside energy here to assist us in this process that's happening right now. So in many ways, it's very exciting because there are a lot of beings that are very, very zoomed in to what's happening here right now. They're very close. You could say in the multidimensional world, they are very, very close. They're like right on the other side of a membrane. I can feel them all the time around me. I can feel the Andromedans around me. I can feel other beings. They are incredibly close to all of us. And we're going to talk about that as it relates to us understanding who we are, because that's happening at a very deep level right now. And we're beginning to remember who our true ancestors are. And as that comes online, it's going to be fundamentally groundbreaking, shaking, changing all of us at a very, very deep level, because we're going to kind of really understand who we are. So let's talk about some of the practical things that are happening first, though, because I think that's important this month to focus on those. Because when the energy shifts the way it does, what I'm noticing in myself and in others that I know and clients that I'm seeing is that on some days you might feel a tremendous amount of anxiety in your body. And this anxiety is really coming from basically the variance between this high frequency energy that's coming into your body and wherever you are resonating. So, because we are physical beings and we live in a dense environment, unless you're actively seeking out ways of increasing your vibration and bringing it up, you're going to feel a big variance between the super high frequency energy that's coming in, and your body doesn't know the difference between a high frequency that's good or just too much energy that doesn't feel good. Your nervous system is going to respond to it and is going to pop into a state of anxiety, which is, it's very fundamental to our wiring as beings that evolved from, reptilian DNA and from other types of DNA that were on this planet. Each and every one of us is a mosaic of different DNAs that came together to form who you are. We are all hybrids. And when I think of hybrids, it's like, it's hybridization of many different genomes coming together to make you who you are. And so I like to say mosaics instead of hybrids, because that's truly what we are. We're patterns of energy all coming together and expressing in new and different ways. And that's the whole point to Earth. She is this incredible bastion of life. She creates all these fields of energy that support all of these various forms of life. It's truly incredible. It's very, very special. That's why there's so much focus and energy on her and what's happening to all of us here as part of her system, and including all the plants and animals and everything, because we're all emitting signal from our DNA, and that DNA is radically changing. It's becoming. So as part of the difference between where you're at in any given moment and these high frequency energies that are coming in, you might feel anxiety or a quickness, or just like you're out of control, or almost like your energy is breaking apart or getting too big, too quickly, too vast. And that can cause anxiety in the body. And then what happens is our anxiety triggers an emotional response. So we start to hone in on those things in our life that are less than perfect. So whether it's a financial situation or it's a medical, physical situation, you can start to perseverate on that, and it can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can start to feel like, wow, this situation's out of control. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm not safe. I feel like I'm not going to have enough. I feel like things aren't going to work out. And so I want to let you know that that's totally normal for right now. And it's actually not a nefarious thing. It's actually your body trying to acclimate to what's happening in the field, because there are so many beings from high frequencies that are around us, surrounding Earth right now. And they're here to help. They're here to usher us through this moment. But we have to admit, like, we don't operate in those frequencies on the daily, right? Unless we are spending our time in meditation, we're spending our time connecting to different sounds, frequencies, whether we're toning or we're out in nature. Whatever we're doing to raise our frequency right now is basically your life and breath. Because it's going to bring you into a state of calm, and it's a state of coherence with what's present. And as soon as you hit in the coherence through the matching of the energy, you're going to feel a whole lot better. So it's really, really important right now. So whatever your favorite way of doing that, my favorite way of doing it is I do a lot of hiking. I spend a lot of time in the redwoods. I live in California. I spend a lot of time in the big trees, and they really hold me. That's my favorite place. But you might live in a place where you connect with the ocean, or you connect with the sounds of something outside, or you might connect by going into the earth and spending time with earth. You might ground and become coherent with higher frequency energies by toning, singing, by doing art, or by getting involved in another project, like let's say you're a woodworker. Anything you can do to get you in the zone to calm down. They call it the default mode network inside the brain, where all these different brain centers get activated at once when we're in worry and fear, worrying about the past or the future. And they take us out of the present moment. So anything you can do to get focused on the present moment right now will really help and align your frequency to higher vibrations. But I would take it one step further. I really like to use binaural beats. So you put them on your head and headphones, and then you get two different frequencies moving through the two different hemispheres of your brain as you listen to them. And what happens is that it synchronizes into one frequency, and it brings your brain into a very coherent state. So it brings both hemispheres. I like to use the Monroe Institute recordings. They're called HemiSync, and they have a lot of them on YouTube or other streaming services. You can find them on Spotify, for example. I use them on Spotify too. So they're all over the place, and you can also purchase some of them from their website. I really love their stuff. This is not an endorsement, but I just love their stuff, and I find it's really, really good at shifting your brainwave patterns into a more coherent, neutral state so that you can start to feel good again. So I also do that personally for myself by toning, and I'll go through the different chakras and I'll tone the different chakras, or I'll play my sound bowls or use my tuning forks. For me, it's all about sound, because sound and vibration and frequency is a quick way to shift your patterns. So I really highly recommend all those things this month, because I think that they are absolutely necessary. And I would say just going forward, it's not just going to be this month. I mean, we're stepping into a new field of energy. It's not going to go away. I mean, this is who we are now. We're reclaiming who we've been. We're reclaiming our higher frequency state of being through our DNA. And as we do that, we need to get into the habit of matching that higher frequency in order to feel good, in order to feel safe, in order to feel like we can meet that energy and start to participate with it, enjoy it, play with it, because that's really what's on the other side of when we calm down the anxiety. We can start to say, oh, actually, okay, this is not so bad after all. I can actually start to play with this energy, and I can start to create with it. So that's the exciting thing, and that's sort of the second part of what's going on this month, that when you have feelings of anxiety, or if you feel stagnation, because sometimes the energy shows up as just being like absent, or like it's just missing, and then it feels like it's just a blankness there. And so one of the things you can do when you feel that blank slate type of energy is you can take a moment to raise your frequency and then step into a very creative, intentional relationship with the field. And you can start to really move with it and think about what you want to bring into the world and what you want to create. And that's very exciting. And that's something that's highly encouraged right now, because it's the higher the frequencies are that are present, the more receptive the field is to you interacting with it and you molding it. And that's what I think we've all wanted to happen for so long, but now that we've gotten to the point where the field is actually ready for us to do that, then we got to put on our big boy and girl pants and say, oh, okay, I'm going to actually take ownership, and I'm going to take responsibility for how I'm vibrating in any given moment, and I'm going to start to meet the field in these frequencies that we've all been saying, like, oh yeah, we want the frequencies to be higher. And then when they get here, it's like, ouch, they hurt. And I do that too, because like some days I wake up and it just doesn't feel good. And then I remember, like, oh right, I gotta match it. I can't just sit here in my wherever I woke up today, or whatever, vibration I'm in. I gotta move towards it. And as soon as I do, it greets me, and then I feel tremendous joy. And so we can move from anxiety to joy pretty quickly right now. It's as easy as you really intentionally moving in that direction. And it's important that you do so, because once you do it on a regular basis, it's going to form a habit, and then that habit will start to become your sort of signature frequency. But it takes a while, right? We've got neural repatterning to do here. And so it's not something that happens overnight, but it is something that once you start to get a feel and a taste for it, it'll start bringing you back to it. Oh yeah, that's right. Every time I take a walk in the woods and I listen to my binaural beats, I feel so much better, and my whole day shifts. Every time I intentionally engage with the energy field around me and I say, hey, yeah, instead of feeling overwhelmed by you, I'm going to participate with you like the friend that I've been ignoring, and I'm going to start intentionally creating and bringing about the type of world I want to live in. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to actively do that. And that makes a big difference. It's moving you from victim to participant. It's moving you out of operating in a field that feels like it's controlling you and that you have no way of managing. And it puts you into the driver's seat of saying, not only do I get to manage it, but I get to create in it. And then that puts you into the truth of who you've always meant to be. And so that brings us to the disclosure part of the discussion, which is that in so many different people I've been meeting, and I appreciate those of you who've been reaching out and doing sessions based on seeing me on YouTube or wherever you've connected with me. It's so much fun for me to meet you and work with you. And what I've really been getting a lot of joy from is helping those of you that are connecting to understand who you are and what your galactic connections are, where you come from, and what's sort of, how it's affecting you right now and how your body's processing it, where you are in that whole unfolding, you could say, and the whole becoming. And so what I've noticed is that for so many of you, you are also having your own personal disclosure happening, which means that you're starting to remember who you are. Your DNA is starting to sing the song of its mosaic, which is that you've got DNA maybe from Andromeda. Maybe you've got DNA from Sirius or from the Hathors or from the Pleiadians, the Arcturians. I mean, it's endless, right? There are as many different races as we can imagine because there are an infinite different number of ways that DNA can recombine and express itself, both in form and in energy. DNA is both an energetic and a physical molecule. It's an architecture of energy. It's a whole architecture of genetic expression through geometry and through energy. And so it's very exciting for us to understand that it's really unlimited, the number of ways it can recombine and create life, and the number of different aspects of that life that is starting to become apparent within all of us right now. And so it's an exciting time to explore that and to remember who you are. And you're going to start to have more and more experiences of operating as a higher dimensional being, because that's who you've been and that's who you're returning to be, which is, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, right? And so you're going to notice some things happening along those lines as you start to embody more of that multidimensional self. One of those, and that I've noticed a lot, is that time is going to get really malleable, meaning like you could be sitting there and you're waiting for something to start, and then you look at your clock and wow, it's an hour and a half later and you've completely missed your appointment. That has been happening to people that I've been talking to, and friends have shared that story with me as well. So I know it's just all over the place. A lot of people are mentioning that to me, clients as well, that time is getting really fluid and fluctuating a lot, meaning you can draw it out and have it move very slowly. But if we're not paying attention and we kind of go into that meditative ethereal state, you can have big jumps of time where you lose an hour or two here. I really don't believe that it means that you're getting abducted or anything. What I think right now, and that has been the scenario on this planet in the past, but right now what it means is that you are stepping into a higher frequency and you're matching the frequencies that are here. And when you're doing that, you're basically moving into a space where time does not operate the way it operates here. And so then when you bring your awareness back into this dimension, you realize, oh, I just missed 2 hours. It's been happening to me a lot. I will be doing one thing, I get very immersed in it, and I look up and it's 3 hours later and I'm like, oh my God, I'm late for something. So just take note of that and know that you want to create some padding around different things that you're doing so you have time to operate in that ethereal space, because it's actually lovely. And it's as long as your day is structured to accompany that, and you can start practicing with it. But sometimes it happens without us even realizing it's going to. And so don't be alarmed. It's nothing to worry about. It's just, again, us acclimating to these multidimensional frequencies that are around us and learning how to operate in them. And at some point, we will start to realize that time is something that we can interact with and bend and stretch out or bring together like an accordion. And it's because we're going to be operating at different frequencies, and that's what's possible at those frequencies. It's like we are all moving into a phase of being that you typically only get to experience when you're on the other side, meaning when you've transitioned out of your body, or if you're having an OBE, an out-of-body experience, or you're astral traveling, or of course in the dream state, and let's say you're having a very lucid dream. Then we start to feel like, oh, I can play with time, I can play with energy, I can move through walls, I can do all these things. Well, that is what is coming to a theater near you in your present waking life. So there's just going to be a lot less of a barrier between you being able to do those things and you being in your normal waking life. So this is what embodiment is all about, and that's really what's happening to us. So I'm excited. It's good. It can be a lot for some people. and also the idea that, we're in this very intentional, creative atmosphere can be exciting, and it also can be a little daunting and a little scary, and also can make some people feel like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to do that every day, all the time? Because that sounds exhausting. But I want you to know that it's not exhausting, because what happens is that you just become good at it, and it just becomes more of the way you are, and it's your operating system's getting upgraded right now, plain and simple. That's what's happening. Your DNA is changing, and it's going to change your whole frequency. It's going to change your operating system, so it won't feel like such a burden, because you're not going to have such a big variance between higher frequencies and where you're at. And when you start to come in more alignment and coherence with that on a regular basis without having to think about it, then all this stuff becomes more joyful and easier. So that's exciting stuff. And that's what's landing, no pun intended, this month of May of 2026. And it's only going to continue this year, this summer. This is true disclosure. It's really happening on a personal basis. It's happening to each of us individually, and it's not something to be afraid of. It's really something that's going to happen right in your own energy field. So that way you know it, you trust it, because it's your family reminding you who you are. It's not like somebody coming to you who you don't know. It's you knocking on you and saying, hi, remember who we are? So I'd love to help anyone do that. If you guys are ever interested, reach out to me. We can do a session. I can help you figure that out. If you're having trouble getting there, or if you need some ways of understanding it, I can help you out there. But in the meantime, take care, everyone. Love connecting with you like this, and I'll be back soon. All right, bye for now.